hopping on YouTube Live. On this in particular, it's been a while because this account has actually been terminated for nearly 3 years. I think my last video was uploaded. I haven't really done anything on here, even when it has been reinstated recently. Along with another YouTube channel of mine, which got terminated, which has been up since I was like 7 fucking years old. So that is having back. I'm grateful for that. I've recovered a lot of old content, and ever since they terminated me, I branched out and moved to other platforms like Rumble. I haven't been on Rumble for a long time though. Now that's very outdated. And I got a new YouTube which has never been terminated, and yeah, fuck knows, but they gave me my account back anyway. So here we are. And other than that, it's been a while anyway on my socials because I've just took the longest break I've ever taken, really, in terms of I'm like the most kind of laid back with it as I've ever been, which isn't exactly what I hoped I'd say if I go back in time. If I thought, where would I be at this point, I guess. But like a lot of it is just doing a lot of inner work, I think, and like reevaluating a lot. I think it's like a big part of my whole journey was like, obviously initially the whole thing was psychedelic induced, and it like I blew my head to pieces with the psychedelics, with the magic mushrooms and stuff. And I think that like with the internal transformation is just such a large process that it's like recalibrating my whole being from the ground up, and it's like it's a dangerous thing to do, to take like big doses, and I don't think a lot of people don't understand what they're getting themselves into exactly. And I don't know, maybe not, but I just mean I got very ungrounded initially, and I fucking it takes a long time to kind of like reach equilibrium, especially if you do it when you're young. Like Ram Dass warns against like ego death before having actually cultivated an ego, because like when you start, I was doing psychedelics when I was like 15, 16. Like I was having like full-blown like ego death horror trips and shit when I was like 16. But yeah, so I didn't mean to branch off, and I'm not gonna branch off too much, I guess. Like as of now, I'm just talking a general thing. Don't expect anything from me. I'm just talking. I thought I'm much more hesitant these days, despite what it may seem or what I've showed you. I'm much more withdrawn with how much I'm sharing about my personal life, even though radical honesty is like one of like my favorite core highest values and pillars. It's just tricky with privacy concerns and safety, with exposing your information to the AIs and to whatever fucking gangstalker energy or monitoring spirit energy might be out there. Oh yeah, we've got people in the chat. What are we saying? What are you fucking... Well, go on. But yeah, oh shit, I've got 12 people in here, that's weird. You have hair for the stomach. Is that a question? Bro, these people just like coming in here and just chatting loads of shit. Rarely get people join like that. I don't know, maybe YouTube's different. I don't go live on YouTube much. What are we saying? Who knows about psychedelics? Let's get a conversation rolling. Or who knows about what, bro? Tell me. Yeah, one positive thing is doing breathwork in the sun, mate. It's the middle of fucking... It's literally New Year's tomorrow, or like... Oh, it's the fucking 30th of December today, or the 31st. And yeah, the sun is rarely out, and man's just sat in this perfect place, being grateful for the sun, doing some breathing, because health is wealth. And yeah, breathwork. I know something you don't. Lizards 2026. Well, I don't know, bro, you're throwing me off anyway. But yeah, anyway, privacy is different. I'm not how I was before when I was abusing the psychedelics and I was just basically dissolved all the boundaries, so I was like uploading a fucking public diary vlog basically, which was quite like a vulnerable, naive sort of move to make in retrospect. But yeah, radical honesty, I really value it, and I think it can be healing for the mass awakening and for society. I put before, what was it like? Oh, my heart. Like, I would love to believe in a world where basically you have to hide aspects of yourself to protect yourself, and that actually seems to manifest and create insecurity. Basically, because we live in a world where we shun what is, to a large extent, potentially. Maybe that's a good thing to an extent, but like. It's like radical honesty is freedom. This is quite a deep rabbit hole in a way. I'm realizing now, just quick, because I spoke about this before, but I want to contemplate, because all I do is fucking contemplate. All I do is connect the fucking dots, mate. There's infinite dots. So radical honesty is a freeing, liberating thing to do, because you don't have to, like. And this is what I thought initially, and this came with my sort of psychedelic-induced awakening intuition stuff, is basically, why should I have anything to hide when you see your incarnation from an existential perspective even? It's like, why should I have anything to hide? Somewhat like, because you understand that it's not even you to an extent with the derealization aspect of it and the depersonalization. So it's like, why should I have anything to hide? Because to an extent, I didn't even ask to incarnate, is sort of a relevant point, you could say, so to speak. And also, yeah, it's a very freeing, sort of liberating thing to do. And then what I was realizing when I was like, if I can stay on track, is like, yeah, should things be shunned? Like, should we hide aspects of ourselves in order to protect ourselves? Well, think about it. I think sin, so to speak, can play a big role, or whatever is defined as sin, because it's like, say for example, if you steal, that creates, because I've noticed this, like, not with stealing, but like, say, I've noticed I can speak about radical honesty and talk on YouTube like, oh yeah, radical honesty is one of my highest values, and then later I do something deceitful or like sinful in the past, and then I look back at the video of me talking about how I value radical honesty, and I'm like, well, that's all good being radically honest, like on camera and coming off in this type of way, whether I know I'm doing it or not, for whatever reason I might, or whatever intention I may know I have or don't. So what I noticed is that lying and being deceitful obviously can create insecurity, can create concealment. So what I'm wondering is, where does insecurity sort of manifest from, or even cringe related to Conor Murphy? It could be kind of relevant. Because he talks about transcending cringe through like meditation and psychedelics and stuff, and it's like, basically, where does it emerge that things should conceal themselves? I guess it's just survival, isn't it? Like, that's literally all it is, I guess, because it's just ego versus ego sort of thing. But I was being radically honest from the get-go at the start of my channel with this psychedelic awakening and stuff, because I intuited and I felt the freeing nature of it, the liberation sort of feeling that comes with being radically honest, and also I felt like it's a radically healing thing to do. I thought to myself, the way you could phrase it is like, why should I have anything to hide? I don't even know how I got here in the first place, or like what the nature of reality is exactly, so like, why don't I basically do like this direct investigation and be radically open with it? And that's what I was saying initially about the privacy and the different levels of sharing. I was like, didn't really mean to, but what I ended up doing is uploading like a fucking, it was like a vlog. It was like a personal vlog, like from the fucking third eye's perspective. It was like, oh, I've just woke up in this incarnation, guys, like, and I was like trying to go into the mystery, like, with the audience, and like just an open inquiry. And I've thought this, if I was to ever bring back the podcast, is I what was I thought of the name of it, like something just like genuine inquiry, because it's like I don't want to, like, I've got like a newfound like radical sort of skepticism in a way, and it's basically, if I were to get these sort of mystical people, it's not that I'm trying to debunk them or demystify them like a scientific rationalist materialist. It's that it almost has an interrogation sort of attitude, but that's a good thing because I'm digging deep. If like if someone gets on my podcast and they're talking about sigil magic and the Phoenix event, whatever, I don't want to expose my level of where I'm at, what I like, because I'm spying on myself, you see, and it's a risk even talking now, and I'm much more sharply aware of this than I've ever used to be before. But I don't want to reveal my knowledge, my level of knowledge or lack thereof, when I'm interviewing somebody. But again, that's for my own protection from this AI gang stalk shit and just this monitoring spirit shit. You'd never know these days. Social media is crazy, right? I don't want to spy on myself, get myself in trouble with the law. Who knows, so to speak. But basically, I want to, honestly, if I were to get people on the podcast, I want to like interrogate and dig deep into them and like find out, how did you get to know this? Because like, when people just go like, oh, did you know if you make a baby out of lust, not love, then the baby will actually be a demon spawn, and they go around spreading this mimetic that they've probably contagiously absorbed from the internet or something, who knows. Fair enough, but my question is always, how do you know? And then, well, maybe chaos magic can be relevant, because like you can choose your beliefs depending on their useful, supposedly. Do they not allow you any sunshine? They were spraying yesterday. There was like a bit of sun, and they like just sprayed right in front of it, and it clouded out. Fucking. But yeah, that's basically the perspective I'd come at it from initially. I didn't mean to branch off too much, but I was basically doing like a honest, open, like investigation inquiry into the nature of reality, and I was basically recording and uploading like this kind of personal, I mean, well, it was sort of like a diary. It was like, I didn't really realize it. It's because I was doing a lot of mushrooms, which was blowing my head to pieces, and I was also on the internet a lot, and I ended up like putting like a lot of like my deepest, most like intimate, like insider kind of thoughts all on the internet, because I started to basically just venting into the camera from an honest perspective, as if I was talking to myself, and I was like I would do these like open contemplations. I would pick up the camera and just ran into the camera about this topic, that topic, this thing, and you can even see the rigid nature or lack thereof of my thought structure, whether I'm unhinged or whether I'm got a lack of focus, or whether I'm breathing, which is what I was doing initially, and I would like to keep doing, because it's good. The sun's good. It's all about leveling up. That's what it's got to be. CRC camp out coming this summer, this August. I thought there would be something healing about being radically honest, because there's a lot of depression and darkness in this world. A lot of people experience. I did years and years before my awakenings, anything. And I thought if other people were also going through darkness and they felt alone, then they could find people online potentially who they could relate to, you see, because I just have this portal that I can upload videos on. And that was kind of my aim somewhat with being radically honest, and it was fueled by psychedelic awakenings, and it was an intuitional, devotional, sacrificial fucking devotion towards the fucking it felt like the psychedelics were really like I knew in every cell of my fucking body, and I was going I just completely like in a vulnerable way just uploaded absolutely every part of my fucking like myself in a way, and it was a big explosion, a big sort of psychedelic explosion. And initially what I was saying is like basically there's a big like equilibrium sort of there's a lot of people in the chat who, like, they're literally going, what is going on? They don't even know. I don't know where you lot come from. Talking about psychedelics and heroic dose magic mushrooms and neural genesis, plasticity, fucking mass awakening, cognito hazard, fucking psilocybin, psilosymbiosis. They don't even know. They don't even know. They don't even know. But yeah, anyway, basically it takes a bit to get that equilibrium. Even there's things of the nature of like serotonin syndrome. I don't know about that exactly, but basically and it's the nature of like, you know, you can't use MDMA too much. I don't, but just saying, like, because you can basically fuck your neurons, and obviously psychedelics cause neuroplasticity, but there's different levels to this. It's all about breath work, sunlight, diet, breathing, grounding, substances or lack thereof, withdrawal or lack thereof, addictions or lack thereof, and it's all like one thing psychedelics have definitely done is they've reinvented my whole perception from the ground up. That is when the whole thing began, you know, and I don't want to spar myself. It's interesting to do these talks. It's been the longest time, and I'm not going to be a fraction of who I was, that's for sure. I know I started this one a bit weird, and I've just kind of branched off. I wasn't really trying to be particularly hinged, so excuse me if I've kind of gone off topic and just ranted around here, but I just thought, why not do an update, you know? But the main thing is the breathing in the sun. But yeah, what I was going to say with the serotonin syndrome, there's a really cool YouTube channel, by the way, which it's kind of fear-mongering a bit in a way, but like it's dedicated to cannabis-induced psychosis. Speaking of cannabis, we're gonna go smoke a cannabis in a second. Whoa. If you'd like to join me. Cannabis-induced psychosis, and these people, yeah, they smoke weed. Some of them get addicted, and some of them just have an episode. Like this one big black man. He's in the military and stuff, you know, and like that's a crazy thing, especially when you take into consideration all the trauma in culture, and life is truly trippy. Like, have you seen that video of the army geezers that like take LSD? They give like the army soldiers LSD, and the whole thing just falls apart. And one of them had to get completely withdrawn because he seemed to be fading away into some ego death shit. But yeah, so some people, they can smoke some weed and then they just have a complete fucking panic attack. They start some people, they literally, this big black guy I was on about, he literally had a spiral realm bad psychedelic trip on weed. It was like an actual like time loop, like, but he was doing it for hours where he couldn't talk to anyone, he couldn't see anyone. I've had that on like 7 grams of mushrooms, but that on weed, that's crazy. I've had kind of whitey greening out experiences on weed. It's very powerful when you're young. I couldn't handle it really, and it spin you the fuck out. It spin your whole brain out. But they reinvent your perception. I'm telling you, like you got to be very careful about how you use them. But it will change the whole way you see all of life, your whole body, your whole perception. Especially if you've never done them before. Like you got to be ready in the right setting, because they will, give the, these things, they go into your brain, and then they literally are like, you're fucking sending vibrations into your fucking brain. That is like the fucking renderer of your consciousness, basically. Even not inherently from a scientific materialist paradigm, even from like a God consciousness sort of paradigm, or whatever you want to call it, or a non-dual paradigm, the brain is still relevant to consciousness. You can't deny that. I'm not saying consciousness is purely generated by the brain, but if you drink mercury, as Leo Gura says, then obviously you're gonna meet your maker, Anyway, breath work obviously alters everything, the brain as well. Sustainably awakening, that's the one. But yeah, I think it could take a long while to come back down to an equilibrium. You see, sometimes it depends how you do it, but if you shoot yourself with psychedelics pretty hard, even though they are an equilibrium inducing thing in and of themselves, it's a tricky one. But if you shoot off like into some spiritual psychosis, even on a physical, perceptual, like neurological level, the equilibrium may take a while, of like where like you're in Leo Gura's video about ego backlash. He talks about he says to see yourself as a harmonic oscillator, and that is your behavior patterns and your identity can sort of sway. So you might go radically this way, and then you might relapse into some old behaviors, and you're new, and then you're old, and then you're back, and then you're forth, and then you're up, then you're down, and right, then you're round, or whatever. Sorry. I definitely don't want to be such a faggot anymore. Sorry. I just noticed I'm not who I was. I'm not actually calling myself a faggot on here right now, inherently. But what I mean is who I was is not who I am, and I can't, even if I don't look like I've changed that much, like when I look at my old videos, I don't recognize myself, and like I can't believe I was who I was, and I must be changing. This is what I mean by the psychedelic rupture as well. This happened with Conor Murphy as well, who I was very inspired by at the beginning. Is your personality will fluctuate drastically. You can take on new fucking accents. You start talking differently. Like my mum said to me ages ago, she was like, "You didn't used to talk like a robot." I used to have different traits about my personality. It has to be funnier in different type of ways. My whole energy was radically different. They complete rebirth. You basically die. It comes with ego death, like the integration of ego death. And integration is one thing I definitely slacked on a lot initially. And again, a lot of the purpose of sharing this sort of stuff from a radical honesty perspective is I care about the truth, Even if, let's say, supposedly there are loads of souls in this kind of realm on this earth. Perhaps a lot of us know what others don't, but aren't we all kind of in this investigation together? See, I might be going off now, but I'm just going to let it go. See, when I call it an investigation, yeah, those who... I think a lot of existential sort of nihilism or questioning stems from this, what I've described, and what I nearly chose as almost like a rap name I was playing with ages ago, is closure. People are looking for closure to tie the loose ends of their existential crisis. They want to know why they're here, what the meaning of the whole thing is, right? So if there was closure, it would no longer be an investigation, because you would have found the truth of the nature of reality. You would found the absolute truth, that maybe that's spiritual awakening, maybe that's enlightenment, maybe that's God realization, or that you're in a dream, or Jesus, or a religious kind of figure or archetype, so yeah, it's kind of interesting. So it's almost like to those who are investigating reality, it kind of proves that they don't know. But those who know, do they really know, or do they just think that they know? Because there are people who act like they do know, right? So they say Christianity, or the one of the many lanes of corrupt or lack thereof Christianity, and not corrupt Christianity. It's like fucking. It's not an investigation to them, right? They're not like trying to figure out what the nature of reality is. And I'm not even talking. You got to be careful what level I'm talking on as well, because like the ego is illusory. Because a lot of these things, God, it's so paradoxical, especially when you get into the, yo, what we saying? Got more people in here. What we saying? Who believes in God or who don't, or who knows God or who don't, or who thinks you're dreaming, or who thinks it's material, or what is going on? Metaphysics, epistemology. Let's go. Yes. Oh, free will. Anyway, it's so paradoxical. Basically, yeah, I've got to be careful what level I'm talking on, because there are things that I may feel I know inside, or I did feel I knew at one point, or maybe I'm not too sure, in a way. Maybe I'm confused about it. Maybe I wouldn't want to reveal where I'm at and leak my info online. So there's a lot of facets here at play, just to add to the complexity of the self-deception. If you know, you know. Or do you? Or is it just mimetic viruses? What's real, what's not? What's a mask, what ain't? How much should we wear masks to protect ourselves? Or would an idealistic world be so great where we all can be an absolute free expression of our inner truest authenticity and honesty without fear? Is that valid or not? That's what I was saying before, is where does it stem from? Is there such a world where you could I guess there's things you should and shouldn't do. Says who? So maybe radical honesty is in direct alignment with truth and righteousness. It's like, don't do wrong and you don't have to lie. It's like when they say you don't need anything to hide. Don't do wrong and then you don't have to lie. Or maybe it's the demiurge. Anyway, I got kind of threw off topic then. Sorry if I'm looking like so pale right now. Yeah, I knew I stemmed off then and it sounded kind of silly, but what the fuck was I trying to say before, if I can remember? Damn. Just breathe in the sun, mate. So if you were to have a spiritual awakening, or a religious enlightenment or something, to what extent is it closure? Like, do you get closure exactly, or what? Or do you just have to have faith? Is faith closure? That's a good question. Crack is a hell of a thing. Shut up. I don't do crack, bro. I'm gonna smoke some ganja though right now. It's time for some ganja. Yeah. Fucking Ignore my fucking... Oh, hopefully I don't look super whacked. You do look whacked. Crack is a hell of a fucking... Shut the fuck up. How about you like your teeth in your throat? Right. What the frick was I saying? Does it matter? Oh, I'm on my way, I'm coming. Don't lose faith in me. Fucking hell, mate. Just stay off that Alba dog. Really? What's that, ganja? How whacked up do I look? Don't look too bad. Yeah, well, I apologise if this stream's a bit fucking whacked right now. I can't really remember what the fuck I was saying. 2 seconds, I'm gonna go out for a smoke. Fucking... Can't remember, bro. You're free to leave. While I try and remember what the fuck I was gonna say.
Sorry for the clown and the costume he's wearing all around. Thinking secret agendas on a bound. Thinking the military industrial complexes and in your town. Your local cops are being trained by the IDF. The ADL supplies the get prepared for the white phosphorus to hit you. If you cannot sense the treason, reason ain't familiar with you. If you only knew what they spray from, no, it's changed. Hey, yo, I can't envision why they continue to tolerate the vandalism in the sky. Not to mention those shots they let them give their children lie when they pray. The little cold need rain. All I'm trying to say is I'm appalled by the damn thieving crooks. What's if you believe in their mind?
Damn. Yeah, man, you better get on out of here. But yeah, I think I was saying something about fucking... Yeah, it's like the... Yeah, to what extent is it a conclusion, I guess? Who believes they have the conclusion? Like Leo Gura would say he has the existential conclusion that he knows the absolute truth and that it's a dream and God realization. And then others would say Jesus is the only way and stuff, and that's somewhat the conclusion. Maybe the conclusion is that there is no conclusion. Which is a bit synchronistic, mate. That would be the truth, you know. God likes to play games like that. Yeah, I'm a bit distracted. Sorry if I'm a bit AFK. Do that. Fucking yeah, you know, who knows everything and who doesn't? There's a lot more not knowers than knowers in a way. It's useful like chaos magic or what, but that's not truth, you see. Truth for truth's sake. Hey? Not because it serves you. Or what? Because that's selfish over truth, you know. Supposedly that's the devil, you know. No wonder chaos magic looks devilish. Fucking. What am I saying? But yeah, just you know, yeah. Is life an investigation? Investigate into the nature of reality. It's like, well, if I investigate the podcast guest and try to figure out how he got to the conclusions he did, am I then exposing my lack of knowledge, basically? You know, radically honest, open investigation. What does he know, though? Is there things that he knows deep down that he's forgotten that he knows? Maybe when he's talking to Mr. Nature, Mr. Nature's trying to tell him that he's God, even though that's just a bunch of words, or whatever. See, maybe the interviewer who is trying to figure out the truth could come to arrive at the conclusion, you know, after interrogating and investigating the podcast guest can show the interviewer how he comes to these conclusions and how he can draw the same conclusions, potentially. There's a difference somehow, different neurology, different fucking astrology, who fucking knows. And then perhaps the podcaster will convert to Islam once he interviews the Islam. I'll do an interview with key parts. I'll just read the Quran, my brother, or whatever. And then I use my discernment and intellectual integrity, or chaos magic, or whatever the fuck, so to speak, hypothetically. Or I try it on like a glove as a belief. But what is true? What the fuck is belief? You see, wrestling with belief. Can we end this? Can I end... What, am I just caught in an Archon trap? You see, and now it's such a paradox. It's literally a paradox. Everything you say can and will be used against you in court, bro. And this fucking phone is literally, all that is doing is recording and putting up all this vulnerable shit, potentially. Fucking... Right, so you're sat there trying to figure out what is true, right? Or are you just thinking? So, belief, right? Is belief objective or is it subjective? Is solipsism true? Is Jesus true? Is materialism true? Is nihilism true? All of these, right? Or can you choose what is true and use it in like a utilitarian way, which kind of brings in this kind of relativistic nihilism as well. How like everything is just like transactional, sort of like you. But then what I'm saying is like there must be a absolute truth. Like, so belief, the reason why Terence says you don't do belief, because why would you believe something? I don't have to believe something if it's true, because it's evidently actually true, you know? If I see sacred geometry on psychedelics or whatever, or if I see this right now, it's factually, like, qualitatively true. It's actual, right? So I'm not believing in qualia or what is, right? Because it is. I don't believe it. I might believe some conceptual overlay about it, but I don't have to. I don't have to believe that's a table. I don't have to believe that's a tap, that's a chair, because those are just languages. If I believe that that chair is actually a chair, then yes, that is a belief, and that is a level of self-deception, right? But it is what it is in the moment. I don't believe it because it is, right? So it's actually true. It's like qualitatively actually there, right? And perhaps with some forms of solipsism awakening, that could also be directly verified as absolute truth in a way. But then you see, there's no conceptualizing the absolute truth, because that is words, that's language, that's in the cognitive realm. The truth literally is like the bedrock of it. It's like the most easily accessed thing. It's like literally directly right here. It is literally everything that is, the thoughts are just like clouding it up. You see, but then let's say if some war criminals, what I mean is like, look, fucking, I can literally watch someone pick up a shovel and dig a hole right now in the fucking garden, yeah, and they've dug that hole, right? That's true because I've just watched them do that, right? Or is that language in the mind? Because he didn't technically dig the hole. Because that's just a bunch of words and concepts and language in a way. Like what happened is just, there's no words, right? But he did dig the hole, at the same time. We can say that because it's quite an evident thing. Just the same as if someone threw a tennis ball across the room, right? So he dug the hole and they threw the tennis ball. Pretty easy to figure that out. So that seems true, right? Is that a belief? Well, nah, because you literally can see it. Or, let's say someone slashed your tyres on your van, yeah, and you went, oh my God, someone slashed my tyres, and then you went to check who slashed your tyres. And on the cameras, you see someone come in the night and they slash your tyres, and you're like, oh my God, I caught them on CCTV, bruv. And then you've obviously got this video and you're like, I know that this guy slashed my tyres, obviously, because I got the evidence. Is that a belief? If someone told you that was a belief, you'll be like, it's not. I don't have to believe it. It's evidently right in front of my fucking face. It's not a fucking belief, is it? I know that that's what happened, right? Right. Here's the plot twist. How do you know that you're not dreaming? You see? Now, you looking at a video of someone slashing your tyres, or digging a hole, or throwing a tennis ball, indeed, my friend, is a belief. Because, initially, you just believed in what you were imagining, you see? Oh, that's how my tyres got slashed. I've caught it on CCTV. See? CTV? Let's see. I got it on a video here. Aha, my friend. But what if there are some assumptions you fail to take into account? See? If I told you that's a belief, like I said, you'd be like, that's not a belief. I've got video evidence of someone slashing my tyres, right? That's not a belief, is it? No. If they put fluoride in the water, hypothetically, or if they were spraying the skies with nanotech, some crazy conspiracy, right? Any conspiracy, right? They're putting poison in the food, right? Even if you could actually prove that they're putting poison in the food, you got it on CCTV, yeah? You went there, you went to the factory farms, you saw how you're torturing these animals. I just caught it on CCTV. You're exposed, you evil factory farm. Haha, stop right there, criminal scum. I've just got you on video abusing these animals and you're feeding this fucking food to McDonald's and to the whole population. You're fucked, mate. I just caught you on CCTV abusing these animals. Happy eggs, more like sad eggs. Haha. And you're like, and then he looks at you and goes, that's a belief, bruv. I don't believe in that shit. And you're like, that's not a belief, bruv. You're going down. You're going to jail. I just caught you on the camera, bro. And then he's like, nah, it's just a dream. Wake up. And then the hallucination changes into, now you're the animal getting fucking tortured, mate. And then you just eat a 1-up mushroom that gets delivered by a rainbow wasp that is really large. The wasp is. And then you eat the mushroom and then fucking you you grow up and you fucking get out of there and you drive for space up a vertical road, and then your dream turns into an elephant on a cake, and then around and round you go in some sorrow forever. The end. I hope you like my story. Alright, I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna smoke this. Let's spark this zoo. Hold on, Luna, one sec. Let's spark this ganja. Yeah, I was just taking the Mickey towards the end, in case you didn't notice. Shit, mate. It's totally ganja time anyway. I wonder how the song came off. Yeah, bud. Rastafari. Or whatever the X that is. Mimetic. Biomimetic mucosa. That's right. Check the Instagram for all my stuff, because I'm not on other socials very much at the minute. I'm on a hiatus at the minute. Deep stuff. Love you, bye.